please rise for the national anthem that will be sung by Long Beach resident Cameron Green.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you. Would you please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready, begin.
Please welcome Long Beach Police Department Chaplain, Reverend Claudette Brown, who will deliver the invocation.
I lead us in prayer, knowing that each of you has your own unique way of relating to God and honoring those beliefs. Loving God, giver of all good gifts, we are grateful for each of the people gathered here for this occasion, state of the city. We are thankful for those committed to helping make our great city more productive with old and fresh ideas. God, we ask that you would restore blessings upon Mayor Foster and all those in leadership positions. Continuing to watch over and protect the men and women of the fire and police departments, those who put their lives on the line for the safety and welfare of others. May we all be motivated to make personal decisions that will help us and inspire others to live in peace and harmony with one another. We live in challenging times in light of the economy, but we are privileged to live in the greatest times as we strive to turn adversity into opportunities. We pray that every area in need in our city is renewed by your Spirit at work within and through the people. Finally, we ask that you would lead and direct the leaders of all nations, near and far, as they seek to bring about justice, peace, and goodwill to all humankind. And may we all join in to say, amen.
Please welcome California's 35th Governor, the Honorable George Deukmejian.
Thank you all very much, and Happy New Year to all of you, and welcome. We're delighted that so many of you would come this evening. Well, there is a football game going on. And now, I was invited to participate in this program a few days back, and I was given something that might assist me and the program. But if I vary a little bit from it, I hope that the author of this won't mind too much. First of all, I am George Deukmejian. I am the ghost of governors past. Wait a minute, that's not right. Jerry Brown is the ghost of governors past. Now, first order of business is that we're going to welcome a lot of elected representatives who are here tonight, also some other very notable attendees, but because of the time constraints, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call their names, and when I call their names, I just want you just to give one clap. That's all. So, for example, if I said Pat West, and if you give more than one clap, you have to leave. Okay, we ready? City Auditor, Mrs. Laura Dowd. Uh-oh, I heard a couple. City Prosecutor, Mr. Doug Obert. Very good. City Attorney, Mr. Bob Shannon. Excellent. Boy, this is great. Now, the honorable members of the City Council. Vice Mayor, Dr. Suja Lowenthal. Dr. Robert Garcia. Councilman Gary DeLong. Wonderful. You're a wonderful audience. I see that our mayor has you all trained very well. Councilmember Patrick O'Donnell. Councilmember Jerry Shipsky. Councilmember Dee Andrews. Councilman James Johnson. Councilmember Ray Gablich. And Councilman Steve Neal. Boy, this is easier than I thought it was going to be. Now, also, we have with us tonight former Long Beach Mayor Eunice Sato. Good. And we have a former First Lady of the state of California, Gloria Deukmejian. And we have members of the Long Beach Unified School Board and the Board of Trustees of the Long Beach City College. We have members of the Harbor Commission and many, many city commissions and advisory boards. All right. Now, the one clap rule is over. That's over. Now, wait. Now, I want to have you recognize the First Lady of Long Beach, Mrs. Nancy Foster. Now, Mayor Bob Foster and I both originally came from the state of New York. We have the very special privilege of making Long Beach our home. And there are a great many supporters here in Long Beach who were born here and who were raised here, and that's wonderful. But Bob and I chose to live here. Well, that's not exactly right. My wife was born here, so I kind of had to come and live here. Anyway, beside our love of this city, Mayor Foster and I do agree on a great many issues, and that may come as a surprise to some because he's from one political party and I'm from another political party. Nevertheless, we have sought to work through problems, thought about them seriously, and we very often arrive at the same place. I know that this city has faced some very difficult situations in the past year, but Mayor Foster has always been the kind of leader who is not afraid of making tough choices as long as he knows that he's doing it in the best interests of the city of Long Beach. And that's why it gives me great pleasure to introduce a good neighbor, great leader, friend, and perhaps ghost of governor's future, Mayor Bob Foster.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm introduction, and thank you for that warm welcome. And thank you all for being here tonight. I want special thanks to Reverend Claudette Brown for the invocation. Thanks to tonight's musical performers, the music outside by the Pan Jammers Steel Drum Band from Cabrillo High School. You bet. And the music inside was spun by Aber Sikaros, and I want a nice round of applause for him. He played great music. And to Cameron Green, the terrific vocalist on the national anthem. Thank you all. I want to thank Governor Duke Majan for his introduction and he and Gloria's continuing service to this community. Upon its completion in 2013, the downtown courthouse, named in your honor, will give well-deserved recognition to one of Long Beach's finest citizens. Congratulations. And Councilman Andrews, is he still here? Yes, Councilman Andrews, the mayor's office does possess a calendar. I know that tonight is the BCS championship game. Can I say? But hey, this is the beach, home to the 49ers, and we play basketball here. So, Dee, do you really care to watch a torturous game, which is, I think, still like 12-0? I mean, come on. Maybe you do. I don't know. But I thank you for being here. I know it's an extraordinary burden. Thank you. It is, yeah. The State of the City speech has evolved over the years, and I believe this format meets the spirit intended by the city's charter. Every year, I intend to deliver this speech without notes, but I find that it takes me weeks to form an impromptu speech. And that was a real test. I didn't know everybody would get that, but The State of the City address is meant to inform the citizenry on the condition of our city, and its delivery in this open setting is designed to help you judge how well your government is performing. It is part of a larger process of an informed citizenry, which is vital to a well-functioning democratic society. It is also necessary if we are to hold our elected officials accountable for their actions, and it's essential to prevent the kinds of abuse that occurred in the city of Bell. Last year, I spoke about the need to attack problems head-on, to avoid kicking the can down the road. And my belief that it is nothing short of immoral to place our burdens, be they fiscal, financial, or something other, on future generations. I believe our prime responsibility is to preserve opportunity for the next generation. Now, I'm proud to say that here in Long Beach, we were faithful to that responsibility. And we did it despite an atmosphere in Sacramento and Washington that is caught up in bitter partisan politics and seems destined to impoverish our future for some illusion of present benefit. Indeed, the state of California seems bound and determined to visit its contagion upon local governments. In two essential areas, redevelopment and realignment, the state is robbing the future to pay current costs and setting the stage for our children and grandchildren to be worse off than we are. Redevelopment, while frustratingly misunderstood within the state capitol, not only helped cities fix themselves, but brought development to areas that would otherwise remain economically stagnant for decades. Redevelopment built a larger future tax base from parcels of land better known as drug houses and rundown liquor stores, stealing precious public safety resources. It was arguably the last remaining tool for economic development in California, and it is hard to deny that it has been transformational in Long Beach. But the reality is that those days are probably gone, and we will work hard to save redevelopment legislatively, but in truth, the outlook is grim. So we are forging ahead on the work of building up this city without redevelopment in our toolbox. In the short term, rest assured that we are doing everything possible to ensure that business services, graffiti removal, and code enforcement continue without interruption. To facilitate this, next week the City Council will act to begin the process of compliance with the technical provisions mandated under the new state law. Among other things, that will mean a new community advisory board and a reconstitution of some of our existing commissions. In the midterm, I will keenly focus my energy on creating new avenues for growth and facilitating private sector investment. There is a vital need to better align the pieces of city departments that work on development, planning and permitting, issuing of business licenses, administering small business loans, and branding this city. Longer term, these changes will mean the art of redeveloping Long Beach continues, albeit quite differently. In essence, we're breaking up, but we're still friends. So all of you here with us tonight that work within the redevelopment agency or volunteer your time as part of the redevelopment agency board, the project area committees, the Board of Housing Development Corporation, and the terrific Community Development Advisory Board. Please stand up and let us thank you for your service to this community. Thank you. Your mark is all over this city, and I can't thank you enough for all your service. And we're still going to fight, but as I said, it's going to be tough. Now, last year, I warned that the state would pursue a policy called realignment. I urged vigilance in this area because I feared the state might take the cynical approach of returning powers to cities and counties without the requisite resources to fulfill the increased responsibility. In another example of beggaring our future, the state is doing just that. The recent announcement of the release of 30,000 state prisoners to county jail comes with inadequate funds and jeopardizes public safety. On this last point, not surprisingly, the state disagrees. But I can't say it any better than Mark Twain. Get your facts first, and then you can distort them as you please. Now, if you are a convert to Twitter and need to sum up the rest of the evening in 140 characters, listen up. This part is for you. The state of our city is sound. Despite a national recovery that is achingly muted, the fiscal health of our city is improving because of significant and prudent decisions. Major crime dropped to the lowest levels in decades. Our infrastructure continues to be upgraded. Job growth is moving in the right direction, and our core services remain well-functioning. We again delivered a balanced budget, grew our fiscal reserves, and maintained our AA- credit rating. At a time when the state just began to focus on addressing unsustainable public pensions, we acted and achieved real and meaningful reform. Significantly, both our public safety organizations willingly sat at the bargaining table because we share the belief that long-term fiscal health and high-quality public safety go hand in hand. I want to personally thank the leadership and members of the Police Officers Association and the Firefighters Association for their public spirit in passing these reforms. And they're significant. In total, the newly adopted pension changes will result in more than $110 million in savings over the next 10 years. Now, in truth, there is more to do. One organization has not yet agreed to necessary pension changes. If they will stop the holdout and join all the other employee groups, we can save an additional $145 million over the next 10 years. There is still time to come to an agreement at the bargaining table, but candidly, time is running out. The alternatives are not pretty. The escalating costs of maintaining pension benefits will leave very little choice besides significant layoff to city employees. Not a reduction in budgeted positions, not an elimination of vacancies. It means layoffs of real people in real jobs in every department of the city, including the enterprise funds. To the leadership of the IAM, please do what is right for your members and the people of Long Beach. To the rank and file membership of the IAM, remember what I said at the beginning of this speech about holding your elected representatives responsible. To the council, what a long, strange trip it's been. I commend you for working hard at issues that most of you never signed up to deal with when you ran for office. It has certainly been a very difficult year. What your constituents will remember most is that you voted responsibly for the long-term health of this city. Do it again tomorrow night and support 4 years of hard work by residents, stakeholders, and property owners by passing the downtown plan. This city has a social fabric and a sense of community so unique in big city America. It is the reason we all choose to call it home. There are so many in this city that rightly choose to work for the betterment of others. We care for our neighbors, and we do much more than give lip service to the concept of community. As Emerson said, to leave the world a better place, to know even one life has breathed a little easier because you have lived, that is to have succeeded. That sense of giving makes for a better society. It would be a speech in and of itself to mention all the work that goes on throughout the city daily by unsung heroes whose care and compassion eliminate suffering through acts of charity. But as just one example, the brand new Ronald McDonald House opened its doors just last month, delivering compassion to hundreds of families of kids in treatment at Miller Children's Hospital. And guess who's coming to dinner? The hotel and restaurant members of the Long Beach Convention and Visitors Bureau, who pledged to provide meals for the house over the course of next year. Now, while Executive Director Steve Goodling led the charge to round up a year's worth of dinner, and it's hard to say no to a guy with such a great laugh, the truth is, Steve had a little secret weapon backing him up. Your First Lady, Nancy Foster. Nancy's efforts mean a better day for so many people, whether helping to save middle school sports or her ever-increasing crusade to shine a light on the issues of mental illness. Nancy's work is being felt all over this city. Over the course of this past year, we have also come together in tragedy to mourn far more than our fair share. We lost many good people, some to tragic accidents and others to disease, who each in their own way helped to make this a very special place. All of us will miss their contribution and their energy, and I would ask you all now to stand in a standing ovation for those who has left us over the past year. Thank you. It has been a truly very difficult year in that regard by any measure. Now, those examples of charity and mourning demonstrate our understanding that we are all one city, that we live in a larger society. Whatever our individual success, we are part of a larger whole. Part of that larger whole is the economy. Over the past year, we have seen an uptick in business activity in the city. Long Beach experienced a 7% increase in business licenses, adding 256 new businesses in 2011. Job creation is finally beginning to grow nationally, and the city-run Pacific Gateway network has had phenomenal success, placing 3,100 area residents in permanent jobs last year. That is nearly 900 more than in 2010. But statistics give no relief if you still can't find work. So if you're out of work, please listen up. Go online and register at hirelb.com. There are hundreds of available jobs in this area and experts at the ready to help you make the connection. Nationally, there are an estimated 2 million unfilled jobs as a result of a skills gap. If you need to enhance your skills and research a new industry, there is hope in numerous training programs and job placements for individuals. 7,100 adults and 3,500 youth went through one or another at Pacific Gateway last year. I visited a class last year full of people who found themselves out of a job after years in the same field or industry. One of the participants said, "I didn't think I needed to learn new skills to keep my old job." He was getting those skills right there at our center, and he vowed never to be complacent again. Well, let me focus for a moment on small business owners. I owned a small business years ago. I know the unique struggles and special pressures of running your own business, especially when it comes to finding time to look ahead. There's an incredible web of resources available to you as part of the partnership between government, higher education, and the private sector. According to a recent study, 40% of small businesses indicated it was difficult finding the right employees. If you need help hiring, let Pacific Gateway help. Visit hirelb.com and register. There are screened, qualified, and local applicants ready to go to work. As many of you will remember, Long Beach was chosen as one of the first cities in the nation to launch the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. If you are a small business owner in the area and want to increase your business acumen and learn how to grow your company, get an application started right now. Yes, the program is competitive, but if admitted, the program is free and the classes are held at Long Beach Community College. I highlighted a successful graduate, Fred Joring, in last year's speech. Fred's company, based right here in Long Beach, is hiring again. He has 5 jobs available and not a single applicant to date. Also available to you are teaching and planning resources at the new Long Beach City College Small Business Development Center on Pine Avenue. Go in, ask questions, learn about access to capital, grow your business, hire people, and help put folks back to work. 2 years ago, I introduced a program to give preferences for local businesses, increase local outreach in city purchasing, and help level the playing field for small business to compete on bids. I'm proud to say that last year, over 31% of Long Beach purchases went to Long Beach businesses, totaling $86 million. And what is more, that is more than double what we accomplished in 2010. So this program is really working. Now, I want you to prosper. I want to see small business grow into mid-sized companies and expand right here. This may be the single most important part of successful economic development in this city. Your business is integral to our growth, and whatever you need, I hope you will reach out and let us help you find it. And as any business looks to expand or relocate their operations, there may be no bigger influence on that decision than the safety of the city. Safety is the first job of government and essential for the community's prosperity. Long Beach is well on its way to becoming one of the safest large cities in California. We continue to set generational lows in crime. Murders are down again this year to the lowest number on record. In the past 2 years, murders have dropped 39%. Police responded to priority 1 calls in 4.2 minutes, and that is among the fastest for large cities in California. In total, Long Beach Police Department responded to 132,000 calls, and the Long Beach Fire Department responded to 61,000 calls for service, which is an increase over last year. I want you all to join me in thanking the men and women of the Long Beach Police and Fire Departments for the outstanding job they did. They've been great citizens in so many ways this past year. Now, after they look at crime stats, many businesses are going to look at things like opportunities for recreation and how well we act as stewards of our environment. We would be doing a disservice to our children if we did not enhance our environment. For the first time in decades, nearly all of our beaches received an A grade from Heal the Bay. This is due in part to a partnership between Long Beach and 15 upstream cities to access federal funds for a $10 million project to retrofit storm drains, preventing 840,000 tons of trash from entering the LA River and on its way to the Long Beach coastline. And that project is completed, by the way. Thank you. And thanks to the help of County Supervisor Don Knabe, the 2-mile Terminal Avenue storm drain project was completed, relieving a flood threat to a neighborhood and protecting surface waters from harmful pollutants. Sure. And I'm very happy to say the city is still thriving despite the Armageddon rhetoric over our ban on plastic shopping bags. Last week, I made the mistake of reading the online comments section of the Press Telegram. I was just going to leave it there for a minute, but that's in response to a great write-up about the new parklets at restaurants along 4th Street, one of the posters wrote, "Yeah, it's nice, but how about some real parks?" Well, all I can say is, where the heck have you been? New parks have been completed all over this city. So here's your list. Rosa Parks Park, Seaside Park, Pacific Electric Right-of-Way Park, Admiral Kidd Park, Wrigley Heights Dog Park, Manizar Gamboa Community Theater, the 14th Street Basketball Courts, Kaboom Playground at 21st, Hill Mini Park, and while not technically a park, Rancho Las Cerritas Visitor Center. There you go. And we broke ground on what I happen to believe is the most important park project in the entire city this year, the community-supported and council-approved California Gardens and Chittick Field. I think D stayed just for that, actually. I'm not sure, but maybe. Our port has completed 5 years of its Clean Air Action Plan, and the air is now over 70% cleaner. Among the achievements, it is important to highlight the Clean Trucks Plan. Not only were the air quality goals met 2 years early, but as of January 1st, our entire fleet of trucks serving the port is now using engines that are 2007 model or cleaner. That has been the chief catalyst for a 72% drop in diesel particulate matter and is directly improving the quality of life for people in Southern California. You bet. And we did it the Long Beach way. We didn't politicize the issue and again demonstrated that environmental enhancements can improve combustion and economic engines. I want to thank Port Commissioners and staff for a job very well done. Thank you, gentlemen. And Pat West and his cycling pals. And let me tell you, there are legions of them. We completed the separate bike lanes on Broadway and 3rd Streets. And while I would admit I was a bit of a skeptic, I'm still not exactly sure how the car takes a left-hand turn and those things. But no matter, people are using them, and I say a lot of this only in jest, but as many of you know, I have taken up cycling as a way of shaping up, inspired by the great playwright George Bernard Shaw's observation that no diet will remove all the fat from your body, because the brain is entirely fat. Without a brain, you might look good, but all you could do is run for public office. My apologies to all the elected office holders, but sometimes you have to engage in self-effacing humor, so it's just a joke. And perhaps the best testament to our success can be seen in what we physically built this past year. We had a great year for advancements at the airport. We completed the brand new parking structure early and under budget. We broke ground on the much-awaited new terminal, where 30% of the construction jobs will be local hires thanks to our project labor agreement. You bet. The Long Beach Convention Center underwent a $20 million renovation, with more to come. The bridge to 4,000 jobs got underway as the Harbor Commission and the City Council approved the rebuild of the Gerald Desmond Bridge. This nearly $1 billion project protects the port's competitiveness and will generate 4,000 jobs over the next 5 years. But from billion-dollar projects to the bread and butter jobs that you all depend on every day but rarely think about, we sweat the small stuff. We resurfaced 19 miles of street and over 17 miles of sidewalks, filled 39,000 potholes, and trimmed 20,000 trees. We recycled 27,000 tons of material at curbside, planted at least 200 new trees, and delivered 250 tons of mulch, to whom I don't know. Not sure I want to go there. I hope you all conclude that your government has served you well under trying circumstances. All of us should feel proud of the manner in which we met the challenge this past year. We did not panic. We stood firm on our fiscal principles. We reduced the size of government but kept core services operating at high levels. We worked hard not to hand a greater problem to our children and grandchildren. 2 years ago, I spoke of the character of this city and how our determination, courage, no-nonsense financial management, and integrity would see us through the difficult times. That character is even stronger today. To be sure, there are more challenges ahead. Still, we still have a budget gap, and we always have the uncertainty of the state of California. But we've met the test. We have resisted the great temptation of putting the future at risk for present advantage. Third world countries are often characterized by a lack of future orientation, the near total focus on the present, often at the expense of the future. I speak of the future often and the need to preserve the opportunities we had for the next generation. I'm informed by my study of classical civilizations, particularly Rome. No society in the ancient world was without its evils, but those that advanced human understanding, science, and improved living conditions were dedicated to enhancing the future. They were more future-oriented than not. Those societies that consumed simply for the present faded into history quickly with little advancement of the human condition. So what does future orientation mean for Long Beach? We will continue to contain our budget shortfalls and service needs in our time. It means that we are going to have to solve most of our problems ourselves and not depend on others. On issues such as infrastructure, economic growth, redevelopment, and the environment, we will depend more on us than them. Now, there will be some sacrifice, but we will be more self-sufficient. As a result, we will need to be more focused on resources and the impact of our policies than ever before. Now, we will tackle our own problems and craft our own solutions the Long Beach way, directly and quickly. To me, you should enter public life with the prime directive to make things better for those who follow. Our job is to make the hard choices, take the bitter medicine, suffer our own pain, but at all costs preserve the future. It's the reason I ran for this office. It's the moral imperative office holders should follow. That is my job. Your job is to assess my performance. You can't do your job if you're not informed and vigilant. And it should be made easier by all the electronic tools available to us. With the press of a key, you can find out the history, actions, press accounts, and voting records of all our policymakers. Perhaps the ubiquity of information has made us insensitive to it, but most of us are not doing our job of holding those in office accountable. If you believe that we are in danger of losing the future, if you believe that we have a moral imperative to preserve opportunities for those who follow, then the only way to alter course is to insist on better conduct from your elected officials. There is simply no substitute for your job. For all of us, I hope you do it well. Our future depends on it. I've been your mayor for more than 5 years. It has been my honor to serve you. I have done it the best way I know how. If we all do our jobs, we can make our city an example of how an informed citizenry and dedicated office holders ensure that the next generation is one of opportunity and accomplishment. I know that we have a better future. Let us rededicate ourselves beginning here tonight. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I love this city. I can't tell you what an honor it is to be up here and to represent you and to work for you. And I would be no other place. It's terrific. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you.